We're approaching the end of 2026, and I need you to stop for a moment and ask yourself one critical question. Did you focus on yourself this year, or did you spend another year focused on everyone else? Did you prioritize your growth, or did you prioritize their approval? Did you invest in your future, or did you invest in their comfort? Because here's the truth. 2026 is almost over, and if you didn't focus on yourself this year, you have one last chance to change that before 2027 begins. You have right now, this moment, these final weeks of 2026 to shift your focus entirely onto yourself. Not next year, not when it's convenient, not when everyone else is taken care of. Now, before 2027, before you enter another year where you put everyone else first and yourself last. Let me be brutally honest with you. Most people will enter 2027 exactly the same as they entered 2026. Same habits, same mindset, same priorities, same results. They'll make resolutions on January 1st, feel motivated for a week, and by February they're back to their old patterns, focused on everyone else, neglecting themselves, wondering why nothing changes. But you're not going to be most people, because you're going to use these final weeks of 2026 to focus on yourself so intensely that you enter 2027 as a completely different person. Not the same person with new goals, a different person with different habits, different standards, different priorities. Someone who's already focused on themselves, someone who's already invested in their growth, someone who's already built momentum, so that when everyone else is starting their journey on January 1st, you're already miles ahead. Let me tell you exactly what focusing on yourself before 2027 means. First, it means conducting a brutal self-audit. Most people never honestly assess themselves. They avoid looking at their flaws. They make excuses for their failures. They blame circumstances for their lack of progress. But you're going to look in the mirror and see the truth. What habits are destroying you? What beliefs are limiting you? What relationships are draining you? What patterns are keeping you stuck? You're going to write it all down. Every weakness, every excuse, every self-sabotaging behavior. Not to beat yourself up, but to identify what needs to change, to get clear on what's holding you back, to create a precise map of where you need to focus. This is uncomfortable. This requires honesty that most people aren't willing to have with themselves. But you're going to do it, because you can't fix what you won't acknowledge. You can't change what you refuse to see. So before 2027 arrives, you conduct a complete audit of who you are right now, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Second, it means eliminating what's holding you back. You've identified the problems, now you eliminate them, starting now, not in January, now. The toxic relationship that drains your energy, you create distance before 2027. The bad habit that's destroying your health, you break it before 2027. The limiting belief that says you can't, you challenge and replace it before 2027. The time-wasting activities that give you nothing, you eliminate them before 2027. You don't wait for a fresh start. You don't wait for Monday. You don't wait for the new year. You eliminate what's holding you back right now, today, this week, before the year ends. Because if you enter 2027 still carrying the same baggage, you'll get the same results. But if you eliminate the problems now, you enter 2027 lighter, freer, ready to move forward without the weight of your past holding you down. Third, it means building the foundation now. Most people wait until January 1st to start building, but by the time they actually start, they've lost momentum, they've lost the urgency, they've lost the commitment. But you're starting now. You're building the foundation in these final weeks of 2026 so that you hit the ground running in 2027. This means establishing your core habits now. You start working out 6 days a week, now, not in January. You start reading 30 minutes every day, now, not in January. You start waking up early, now, not in January.
You start tracking your progress now, not in January. You start practicing your most important skill now, not in January. You give yourself 4 to 6 weeks to build these habits before 2027 even begins, so that when January 1st arrives, you're not starting, you're continuing. You've already got momentum, you've already built discipline, you're already seeing results. That's the difference between people who succeed and people who fail. Winners build momentum before the race begins. Losers wait for the starting gun. Fifth, it means investing in yourself aggressively. These final weeks of 2026, they're your window to make investments that will pay off for the entire year ahead. Buy the course you've been considering. Buy the books you need to read. Hire the coach you've been thinking about. Join the mastermind you've been eyeing. Don't wait until January when everyone else is making the same investments. Do it now. Get ahead of the curve. Start learning now. Start applying now. Start getting results now. So that by the time 2027 begins, you've already upgraded your knowledge. You've already developed new skills. You're already ahead of where you were. Most people spend money on holiday gifts for everyone else and nothing on themselves. They invest in everyone else's happiness and nothing in their own growth. But you're different. You understand that the best gift you can give anyone is a better version of yourself, and that requires investment. So before 2027, you invest in your education, in your health, in your skills, in your development. Fifth, it means getting clear on your vision. Most people enter the new year with vague goals. I want to be healthier. I want to make more money. I want to be happier. Vague goals create vague results. But you're going to get crystal clear on exactly what you want to achieve in 2027, and you're going to do it before the year begins. What specific income do you want to generate? What specific weight do you want to reach? What specific skills do you want to develop? What specific achievements do you want to accomplish? You write it down in detail, with numbers, with deadlines, with specificity that makes it impossible to be confused about whether you achieved it or not.
And you don't just write the goals, you write why they matter, why you're willing to sacrifice for them, why you'll keep going when it gets hard. Because goals without reasons are wishes, but goals with powerful reasons become unstoppable commitments. So before 2027, you get clear. You define your vision precisely. You connect it to purpose. You make it real. Sixth, it means creating your battle plan. A vision without a plan is a fantasy. You need to know exactly how you're going to achieve what you want to achieve. So before 2027, you create your battle plan for the year. What are your quarterly goals? What are your monthly milestones? What are your weekly targets? What are your daily habits? You break down the massive vision into actionable steps. You create a roadmap from where you are to where you want to be. And you identify potential obstacles. What might stop you? What challenges will you face? What excuses might you make? You plan for them now. You decide how you'll overcome them before you encounter them. So that when obstacles appear in 2027, and they will, you're not surprised. You're not unprepared. You already have a strategy to overcome them. Winners plan for problems. Losers are surprised by them. Seventh, it means committing completely. This is the most important part. Before 2027 begins, you make a commitment, a real commitment, not a wish, not a hope, a commitment. You commit to focusing on yourself for the entire year. You commit to prioritizing your growth over their approval. You commit to investing in yourself before investing in their comfort. You commit to doing the hard things, to showing up even when you don't feel like it, to continuing even when it gets difficult. And you make this commitment before the year begins, so that when January 1st arrives, you're not deciding whether to commit. You've already committed. You're just executing. You write it down, you sign it, you make it official. This is your contract with yourself for 2027. And unlike most commitments people make, you actually honor it because you made it before the year began, when you had clarity, when you had perspective, when you could see clearly what needed to happen. Now let me tell you what happens when you focus on yourself before 2027. January 1st arrives. Everyone else is making resolutions, setting goals, feeling motivated, talking about what they're going to do. But you're already doing it. You've been doing it for weeks. You've already built momentum. You've already established habits. You're already seeing results. While they're figuring out what to start, you're improving what you've already started. While they're building motivation, you're operating on discipline you've already developed. While they're trying to create change, you've already become the change. By the end of January, most people have quit. Their resolutions are forgotten. Their motivation is gone. They're back to their old patterns. But you're stronger than you were in December. You've had 2 months of focused growth. You're not quitting, you're accelerating. By the end of March, you've accomplished what most people accomplish in a year, because you started early, because you built momentum, because you focused on yourself. By the middle of 2027, people are asking what changed, how you're different, what you're doing that they're not. And you tell them the truth. I started before the year began. I focused on myself before 2027. I didn't wait for January 1st. I built momentum in advance. By the end of 2027, you're unrecognizable compared to who you were at the end of 2026. Not because you got lucky, not because circumstances changed, but because you made the decision to focus on yourself before the year began. So here's what you need to do right now, today, before another day passes. Conduct your brutal self-audit. Identify what's holding you back. Write it all down. Get honest with yourself. Eliminate the problems. Don't wait for January. Cut off the toxic relationship. Break the bad habit. Challenge the limiting belief. Do it now. Build the foundation. Start the daily habits now. Working out, reading, waking up early, tracking progress, practicing skills. Build momentum before the year ends. Invest in yourself aggressively. Buy the course, read the books, hire the coach, join the mastermind. Make the investment now. Get clear on your vision. Define exactly what you want to achieve in 2027. Write it down with specificity. Connect it to purpose. Create your battle plan. Break down the vision into quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily actions. Identify obstacles. Plan solutions. Commit completely. Make a real commitment to focus on yourself for all of 2027. Write it down. Sign it. Honor it. Do all of this before 2027 begins. Use these final weeks of 2026 to focus on yourself so intensely that you enter the new year as someone completely different. Not the person who waits, not the person who hopes, not the person who wishes, the person who acts, the person who builds, the person who focuses on themselves and creates the life they actually want. 2026 is almost over. You can't change what you did or didn't do this year. But you can absolutely change what happens in 2027 by starting now, by focusing on yourself before the year begins, by building momentum that carries you through the entire year. Most people will waste these final weeks. They'll coast, they'll relax, they'll wait for January 1st to start. But not you. You're using these weeks to build, to focus, to prepare, to become. So that when 2027 arrives, you're not starting, you're continuing. You're not hoping, you're knowing. You're not the same, you're different. Focus on yourself before 2027. These final weeks matter more than you think. Use them wisely. Build momentum. Create change. Become different. And watch what happens when you enter the new year not as someone hoping to change, but as someone who already has. The year is almost over. What you do with these final weeks will determine your entire 2027. Focus on yourself, starting now, before it's too late. Your future is waiting. Go build it.